Don't patronize, I realize I'm losing and this is my real life. I'm half asleep and I am wide awake. This habit is always so hard to break. I don't wanna be the bad guy.
Hello, my little harem honeys. It is I, Slendy Mama, and I am here today because of a wonderful request by one of you guys to do another read aloud. It has been a while, a hot minute since I had done one of these, so I might be a little awkward. But today's story that I'll be reading is A Smeet by Tori Kaur. Hopefully I said your name right, honey. I'm not 100% sure. But she's a wonderful writer, very talented, and I follow her on Wattpad. And I hope you guys enjoy her story as much as I have. It has definitely been her stories have definitely been a great way to escape a lot of drama that I had been through when I started reading her books, and they're still a very great and very fun pastime. So without further ado, let us begin. Chapter 1, The Odd One Out. No! Zim shouted as Dib crushed his small hypnotizing camera-like device. Zim was sprawled across the floor, reaching for the crushed remains, but after realizing it was completely broken, his face rested on the pavement in defeat. Once again, the world is saved by me! Dib grinned as the teens around him started to laugh. Dib crossed his arms. Haha, he's crazy! One person said, while Dib heard another one say, Never changes, I bet he'll grow up to be a psychopath. They laughed. Zim slowly got up, fixing his wig and disguise, and dusting the filth off his clothes. You may have won this time, Dib, but Zim does not give up. Zim turned his back on Dib. Oh yeah? Well, I would like to see you try. Dib's smirk returned as he fixed his glasses and waited for the cheesy response the alien would usually give. The people around them have started to leave. It was the end of school, and everyone was desperate to get home. I will come up with an amazing plan that even stupid Dib Monster would not be able to stop. You just wait and see, and Zim screamed as he stepped back as Dib sprayed water on him with the spray he usually tends to carry around. Well, at least he's prepared. Run home, you little alien coward. It's the best you can do. Dib laughed and started walking his way home. Zim sulked and stomped his way home. Zim kicked a couple rocks while walking home. I'm not little, he growled, but now that he thinks of it, he was little. Throughout the years, all the people in his class have been growing, aging, changing. Zim stayed the same. Dib was really tall, had a bit of a facial hair. His 18th birthday had passed. And Zim had quite fun turning his cake into a monster. Today was the first day of the last year of school. Zim didn't know what he would do after. So he was determined to think of the best plan yet to conquer Earth. Today's plan was hypnotizing humans and create an army, but didn't go quite as planned. Zim sighed as he opened the door and walked in his house. Mister, I made waffles! Gur shouted and held a plate full of waffles in Zim's face. I shall feast on waffles later. Right now I need to think. To the lab! Zim said as he went to the lab. Gur shrugged and ate the waffles as he watched a show on the TV about crazy monkeys. Dib got home and immediately dashed to his room and started writing in his notebook. It was a diary-like thing that he had been writing for a while now. Every day he would write down Zim's stupid plan, how he saved the world. It made him feel good. And who knows, what if he does expose Zim and become famous? They would want to know everything that Zim had attempted. But Dib had to admit, as his days went on, he realized Zim wasn't a serious threat. Of course, maybe sometimes he was, but Dib always had a way of ruining Zim's plan. He smiled as he closed the notebook and sighed of relief. I wonder what Zim's plans on doing when school is over. Dib tapped his pencil on the desk. It was something Dib had stuck in his mind, but never bothered to think about it too much, since it was a long time away. Zim had taken off his wig and contacts and was ready to give his mission report to the Tallists. He had a piece of paper in front of him with ideas and sketches for his next big plan. Of course, he would need some supplies from Urk, so would have to make the plan sound appealing to the Tallists. Zim cleared his throat and stood in front of the screen as he pressed the call button. He waited patiently for them to pick up, grasping the piece of paper tightly on his hand. "Oh snap! It's a call from Zim!" Purple said as he looked at the screen. Red sighed. "He hasn't died yet? I'm starting to guess he isn't gonna die." Red huffed and slurped his drink. "His calls are getting annoying every single week." Red face-palmed and Purple then thought of an idea. "Let's call off his mission and banish him. That way we won't have to deal with that little Urkin anymore." Red smiled. "That's a great idea!" Purple reached over to the button and pressed it. And Zim appeared on the screen. "Greetings, my Tal!" Zim was shouting, full of excitement, but Purple raised his hand to silence him. "Quiet, Zim! We have a very important things to tell you," Purple said as he looked at Red. "Go on, tell him," he whispered. Red sighed. "Look, Zim, it's been 5 years and you still haven't conquered Earth. All the other invaders are done conquering their planets. Therefore, I'm calling off your mission, and as punishment for failing, you will be banished on Earth." Red's words made Zim's heart drop. But I have a perfect plan, and I can do it, I promise!" Zim begged on his knees, but the Tallists didn't care. "You say that all the time. We are all sick of your excuses and mission reports." Purple rolled his eyes and his antenna twitching, more like annoyed. "But anyway, if you try and come back to Urk, we have programmed your spaceship to self-destruct. If you even touch its atmosphere, so goodbye, tiny Urkin." Red was about to press the button to end the call. It ended. Zim quickly tried to call back. He spent ages trying to get it to connect, but it seems like he was blocked from all Urk's systems. Zim was speechless. Everything was going so well. He wasn't ready for this. His motivation levels were decreasing by the minute. He sat on the lab floor, covering his face, and cried for hours. The next day, Dib found himself at this desk, watching the classroom door. He was waiting for Zim to jump in, trying to act normal, but obviously hiding a secret plan that Dib will find out about, hopefully stop him from unleashing. But Zim didn't come to school that day, or the next, not even the day after. Dib's school days were really boring without Zim. After a week passed, Zim was in his last class for the day, staring at where Zim usually sits. He sighed. What happened to the alien? Dib was questioning if he actually cared for Zim. "No, I don't. He's the enemy. I want him dead, or locked up in a lab somewhere," Dib kept telling himself. But another part of his mind said, "Zim is really the only one who takes you seriously. and thinks you're smart. You really want the only living soul that sees you as for who you really are, dead or behind bars? You will never see him again, and your days will be boring, and you will never know, and you will have no more challenges. Zim is probably the only alien you will ever meet in your entire life. You really want this? Dib sighed, and after having a whole class to think, he decided, I guess it wouldn't hurt to go check on the alien. As soon as school ended, Dib quickly went back to his house to leave his bag and grab a few things, and then he walked, or more like ran, to Zim's house. He approached it slowly and took a deep breath before knocking on the door. The door swung open, and Dib saw Gur holding a bowl of cereal, shoving his face in it. I like cereal! Gur smiled as milk dripped from his face. Disgusting. Hey, do you know where Zim is? I haven't seen him for a week, Dib asked. Gur seemed to hesitate. Or maybe he was just swallowing the cereal. Oh, Master is busy! He shoved his face in the cereal bowl again, and Dib stepped back as the milk splattered everywhere. I knew he was planning something evil, working on another way to take over the Earth. Huh? Well, Dib got out 2 small cameras from his pocket. Hey, could I step in for a moment? Dib waited for a reply. Sure! Gur opened the door wide and Dib stepped in. The place was a mess. It looked like Gur had a party in here or something. Dib placed 1 camera in the living room, 1 camera in the kitchen. He wanted to go down to the lab and confront the alien, but he resisted and walked out of the house after placing the cameras. Bye-bye! Gur waved and slammed the door shut. That'll be all for part 1 of this story. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
You think your life is done, he took it all with him. So you drink enough for it to wash away the sins. It's such a shitty thing he